Welcome back to Queenie Connection. On this episode, we've gone from a musical performance to the golf course and then now back to the gallery. Gallery 121, more specifically, the nonprofit gallery in downtown Belleville, just around the corner from our studio, as the early summer show is now coming up June 4th to July 13th. Joining us representing the gallery this time on behalf of Terry Hart is another member artist, Dona Knudsen, along with 2 of 3 guest artists for this show coming up, Jenn Delaney and Lois Shaw. So ladies, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Yes.
Donna, let's start off first with you. Walk us through kind of the early summer show and more importantly, the third artist that's going to be here as well.
Okay. So Gallery 121, for those of you who are not familiar with us, is located on Bridge Street. We're right beside Dinkle's Restaurant in downtown Belleville. And we've been operating for over 25 years in a gallery. And so each year we have different shows. They change over every 6 months. And we're really delighted that starting on June 4th and running through to July 13th, we're offering our early summer show. And we have 3 guest artists for that show. We have Jennifer Delaney and Lois Shaw and Michal Amar. And you're going to get a chance to talk with Jennifer and Lois later on. Michal couldn't be with us today, so I'm happy to represent him. I know Michal and I know his work. Michal has been a teacher and he's an artist. He works out of the local area. His work is always exciting and challenging. He came in to measure the space, the back room where he's going to be presenting his work, to measure the walls to see how tall they were. So that's exciting because that means that we're going to get an installation from Michal, which is many times what his work is like. He's been presenting in galleries all over the area, in Kingston and over in the county. And he's been a guest artist at Gallery 121 several times. And every time Michal presents his work, it's always thought-provoking, challenges you to look at things in a different way with a new perspective. And we just love to see what he's going to come up with next. And I'm pass it back on to these 2 ladies who are here to share their work. We're excited to have 3 guest artists for this show, along with work by the members of the gallery. It's going to be an exciting show, and we hope everyone will come down to see it.
Thanks, Donna. Appreciate it. Lois Shaw, we'll go over to you now. Nature of Glass is the title of your exhibition. Walk us through your work and what you work with.
Well, primarily, I've been an oil painter. I was a draftsman by trade, and I worked for the city of Hamilton, and they were downsizing, so they offered packages. So I took a package to leave and have been doing my art full time since, and that was about 24 years ago. So painting, I've always had an interest in glass. I took a short little course on making glass jewelry, and the very next day I went out and bought a kiln and decided I want to do this. Now it has a very huge learning curve, and you're forever learning and taking courses and watching things on YouTube and trying to learn. So I consider myself still learning. So I'm working through various things. I like to combine my painting with my glass. So I'm using glass enamels to include painting in my work. And then I'm also working with things like tempered glass and trying to create different things with that, and just learning to use the kiln. And I still don't understand everything about running my kiln, and you still make a lot of mistakes. You sort of hope when you open the kiln the next day that something will have turned out beautiful. Sometimes it's a cry factor, and sometimes it's like, wow. So.
Is this your first exhibition at Gallery 121? Have you been showing in other regions in the Queenie region?
Yes, I've always done outdoor art shows with my oil paintings, and I had decided last year I was going to retire from doing those shows and just sort of had a few shows left over. And this year I haven't had any shows, so I decided to concentrate on glass. So this is my first time showing at the gallery. I have visited it before. A friend of mine is a part of the group there. And she was the one who approached me and said, would you do a 3D show? Because a lot of my work actually hangs on the wall as well. So the work I'll be bringing this time is all 3D.
And Jenn Delaney, will go on to you next. Walk us through your exhibition and whereabouts you're based.
I'm living in Bethany, Ontario, but I have my best friend lived for years up in Quinte, and I've had the small shows up there. And last year, with another association, we had an exhibit at the library gallery there. So I'm not sure who suggested me, but Ilse contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do this show. And I thought it's great because I love the area. I love that. I love just driving there and going there and visiting. So that's how I got involved in going out all the way to Belleville. And my exhibition mainly is my newer work now. I've had a few courses in the last year or so where I've been learning a lot about color, even though I thought I knew a lot about color, because I am a trained graphic designer from 10 or 15 years ago. But I've gone a whole different direction now because I didn't love it and I love painting more. So primarily an oil painter. I do acrylic as well. So I'm in my reds and oranges phase, and you'll see that in my show, bright reds and oranges, and keeping them not muddied. So this is what I've been learning lately, and that's the main focus of my show for this time around. And that's my most modern work, so my most current work.
When you're selecting pieces for a show like this in a gallery like Gallery 121, what is it like, especially with all the brighter colors? Are all these works specifically for Gallery 121, or has it been a matter of kind of pulling and picking?
I have been painting for Gallery 121 because I wanted a cohesive body of work for a show. So I have been thinking along the lines of keeping things, at least the colors, more consistent in the last little while. But the subject matter for me is I paint what I love. I've never been one to just paint what everybody else wants me to paint, or I don't do commissions because it's constraining. I just put down what I feel. So you'll find some little bit of weird things in it. So I balance between impressionism and abstract, and I go kind of in between, and you'll see that leap through the show. With those colors being consistent through most of them.
What is your message to young artists, Jenn, especially now in this digital age and more access to different things online?
Well, you can have the passion for digital too. I believe in digital as an art as well. I am not, foregoing that. I don't prefer it. I didn't like it for me when I was into the digital. It's a wonderful lesson. All the lessons were still the layout and everything like that. It still continues through my oil painting. But the one lesson that I would put out to younger people is don't stop, because you can have as much talent as you're born with, but the real talent is your time in. That's my saying, my little quote is talent is time in. So you just have to put in the hours. You have to just keep painting and painting. And you're going to have some stinkers and you're going to have some good ones, and just keep going.
Thanks, appreciate it. Well, Lois, finally for you, another note. What is your message to young artists right now?
Well, certainly to just if you are interested in art, to just do as much of anything as you can. It's a never-ending learning process. You can always learn something, like Jenn said. You can from an instructor, even if you take one thing away from that, you'll carry that with you forever. So just take in as much as you can. And even YouTube videos can give you a lot of inspiration or ideas and get you to go in directions. But just try and do as much as you can. And at some point, you'll find your niche that you'll fall into. I'm still searching for mine.
Thanks, Lois. Well, Donna, let's wrap this up here. Early summer show happening June 4th and July 13th. Is there going to just be another summer show coming up after?
So we'll have a new show opening in mid-July, and it'll be ready to go. But I'd like to invite everyone to the Meet the Artist opening that's going to be taking place on Saturday, June the 8th, between 2 and 4 p.m. at the gallery. There'll be refreshments, but it'll also be a chance to see all this wonderful work that they've been talking about, and Michael's work, and also the work by the regular members of the co-op at Gallery 121.
Looking forward to it. Once again, Lois, Jenn, and Donna, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.